Filing with TurboTax can be a blessing and a curse. A blessing because it's a known software, it can be user-friendly, it's reliable, there's many options, and then it's a curse because there's so many options. Sometimes it's very hard to tell which one should you use. I mean, if you just scroll down to the bottom of their website, you can see how many products they have. Let's go through some of these options. If you click Expert Does Your Taxes, this is a full tax preparation service that wasn't available 2 years ago for personal or business. And with TurboTax, whenever you click one category many times, you will get 4 other subcategories. For this one, we have full service basic for $209 up to full service self-employed to $399. And then if you click on see if you qualify, you can see what's included. For the basic, you just have W-2, child tax credit, earned income tax credit, but not, let's say, unemployment or itemized deduction. And on top of it, you still have to pay extra to file a state. And on top of it, you have to upload all the documents for the professional. If you want to do it yourself, you have a couple options. You can do it yourself online or you can download to your computer. Now, with each of these options, you can also have assisted tax preparation. That means you do everything yourself, you enter all the information, you do all the work, but if you have questions, you can have someone on call to answer those questions. The easiest way to determine which software is best for you is by clicking on pricing and answering some questions. And by default, TurboTax will try to offer you full service or assisted service and 4 subcategories. The basic for assisted right now, it's free with state being included, but you want to double check what's included because it can be very limited. And then up to $209 for self-employed with state being additional. If you click do it yourself, again, you will have 4 categories: free edition, deluxe, premier, self-employed. Under free edition, it says 0 Fed, 0 state, 0 to file. You want to click see if you qualify to double check what's included because it can be limited. The problem that I have with TurboTax is that they make things very difficult. If you want to find out more information on the free edition, you have to scroll down to learn more. And then when you click learn more, you are redirected to a new page. And then if you want to find out which tax forms are included, you have to scroll down, find the features reviews, and then click on the tax form tab to try to figure out which forms are included. So there's a lot of work to be done by the customer or the taxpayer, what's included in the tax software you want. It'd be very easy for the company to have breadcrumbs at the very top of each page to quickly indicate where you are and go back to where you were. Finally, you also have the option to download or get a CD even, which is what TurboTax originally started with, and it also has 4 categories: basic, deluxe, premier, home business. The difference with these ones is that you actually have to purchase first before you use it. Double check what's included. If you click, again, view forms to go to another page, you can double check to make sure it includes everything you need. Quick tip, if you scroll onto any page on TurboTax and click on sitemap, you will see majority of the products and pages on TurboTax. This is like a death by choice because you have so many choices. And whenever you make a mistake, you can call company and say, hey, I didn't know. They say, it's on the website. It's on the website. It's for sure on the website. But where on the website? Well, it's on you to find it, right? I counted here about 38 products with some very specialized ones like cryptocurrency tax software, so you can see how overwhelming it can be for any taxpayer. Let's briefly address the reviews on the website. So obviously TurboTax is going to include mostly the positive ones, and you can actually filter it by the product as well as stage in life. Let's say you're married or have a baby. And then you can also filter it by the review types, 1, 2, 3 star rating. Now, if you compare this to, let's say, Trustpilot reviews, it's completely opposite. So the Trustpilot reviews are all pretty much negative. However, the truth is probably in between because the people who go to Trustpilot are probably the ones who had huge issues versus someone who really liked the software. So you should probably check both if you're considering the product. Another tip, if you scroll down to any page on TurboTax, in tiny writing, you'll see more important details and disclosures. And if you click on that arrow, oh wow, there's a lot of important details and disclosures about the different products and services. And a lot of times, if you keep reading them, you will notice such wording as offers may change at any time without notice, etc. And you will see in this video that actually it's happening to me when I was recording some parts of it, the beginning of March, then March 15, then March 16, and some of these pricing as well as offers have changed during this time. So be aware that some of the pricing, it's not in stone like with some other softwares that I've been reviewing. Oh boy, when I accessed the TurboTax website on March 16 to record some extra footage for the video, everything changed. Now when I click on pricing, the choices are different. I have to specify my situation. Based on that, I'm offered either do-it-yourself, assisted, or full service. And I can't see the 4 subcategories of each. Basically, it adjusts the price for me. Based on the situation for Jane, the taxpayer I'm going to be using as an example in this video, the price have jumped from $89 to $119. And then if I try to click to see which forms are included, it doesn't show me that. It's asking me right away to create an account. Now we're going to try to file taxes for Jane. By just answering these questions and check marks, we're going to filter through which is the best software for her. And so she wants to maximize deduction credits, which I assume everyone does. And then she also has W-2, owns a home. Now I'm going to leave the check for the expert, assisted, or full service option just to see how much that would be. She also donated to charity, had unemployment income, and sold some stocks. So right away, for the do-it-yourself, I can see that she would have to pay $89 plus state just to do it herself, taxes right now. If she wanted any kind of assistance, let's say assistance help, right away it would be $169 plus state would be additional. Just to answer some questions, maybe she's not sure about certain things, such as including the sale of stocks in her software. Now, if she wanted someone to do the taxes for her, full service, it's $359 plus state, over $400 just to have someone assisted. And we're talking about very basic returns. She's not even earning $20,000. So because she has all these additional forms, so you see the pricing is not based on her income. The pricing is based on what's included on her tax return. Unfortunately, prices with TurboTax are never transparent. So for example, in our case, the software recommended on January 15 for Jane would be $108 for federal and state. And by mid-March, it's $178, increase of $70. So now the federal increased from $69 to $119 and state increased from $39 to $59. And you can see how it fluctuates during the tax season. Now, what is also interesting that the software recommended changed from Premier to Premium. Can you tell the difference? What's the difference? The names are so similar. I didn't even tell at first that there was a software change. Now, this is also the same case for the assisted and full services. Each of them increased by $85 by mid-March. I pulled this data from Web Archive by checking the historical price information on the pricing webpage for TurboTax. So again, to my point at the beginning of the video, TurboTax can change pricing at any time. We're going to say no thank you and do it ourselves. So we're starting the taxes for Jane and create an account. You want a software that's modern and user-friendly. However, be aware of things such as gamification. And TurboTax does it a lot, where the software feels more like a game than a financial software that affects your financial situations. If it's asking you how you're feeling, if you don't feel so good, they might be offering you more services such as full service or assisted life help. Now, this part is very helpful. So you want to be as detailed as you can and click on show more if more situation apply to you, because it really helps the software determine what's the starting point, and it will remind you which forms you still have to complete. This is the gamification that I was talking about earlier. Race mode, are you for real? Don't be influenced by this tactic. You have 4 hours and 2 minutes, your goal time. What do you get if you finish in that time? A bonus, a discount? No, you get a sticker. And what does it do when it tells you 25% of tax filers filed in 31 minutes? Your situation is unique and you want to make sure you file correctly. So don't be influenced by this tactic, because this is your money we're talking about. Now, once you start your tax return, on the left, you can click on Tax Home, and this is where all the sections of your tax return are listed here. Or you can click Documents. Documents basically go to any kind of historical information or anything you have uploaded into software. Go back to Tax Home, and here you have to pre-fill your information. You have section for My Info, which is your personal information. You have to answer some questions. Then you have federal state sections. I love anytime tax software has wizards, because this helps taxpayers determine what's the correct answer, what's the correct filing status. Anything in turquoise color or underline you can click on to get more help, and you can search questions and keywords here. If you have any dependents, you can use a wizard to determine if you can claim them, if you want to file in one or more states, and you will see summary of your info. I haven't even put one item of income for Jane yet, and I'm already being sold a product. I don't have a problem in tax software providing extra products to more complex tax returns. They may need that extra coverage. However, the simple tax returns don't necessarily need it. Jane makes less than $20,000 and all her information is on IRS tax forms. If there are any kind of issues, she can send it to the IRS to get it resolved. On the left, you have different sections. You can jump around to the federal, state, income, or deduction section, as well as there are some tax tools. If you ever find yourself upgraded and you didn't mean to do that, you can always click on the clear and start over option under tax tools. Now we are ready to enter our W-2. If you click skip it for now, it's going to put like a flag for your W-2 and you can come back to it when you're ready. Now, if you put your employee ID, which is kind of like a social security number for your employer, if it's incorrect, it will warn you about it. So TurboTax is really good about finding errors so you can fix them. Now, you can also upload your W-2, which is really helpful, so you don't have to enter everything manually. And if you hover over the question mark, you can find out more information about each item. When you enter the information, you want to make sure you match the box number in the software to the box number on your tax form. TurboTax also has these checks to double check your information, make sure that you enter everything correctly. Then from time to time, it shows you the current refund amount, as well as in the upper left corner, you can see federal and state refund amount or if you owe anything. However, this is a point in time number. It's not accurate until you put everything into the software. You can add more W-2s and then answer more questions that may be applicable to you. Now, once you see the summary, here is the list of the items that we specified at the beginning that Jane had as income. Now, Jane had unemployment income, so we're going to enter it here. And on 1099-G, you can also have state refunds, so that's important to keep in mind. You may have that information as well, or an additional 1099-G. If at any point you see the status of your refund, you can click on how do my unemployment paid family leave benefit affect my taxes to see the specific calculation. And that's really helpful to learn how things are calculated in the software. Now you can enter another 1099-G, or if there are any errors, like in our case, I will have to click review and fix it. Now once you get back to the wages and income screen, you can click add more income to see all the possible categories and subcategories, and you can click show more under each if you want to revisit it and see if something applies to you. You will have to answer some specific cryptocurrency questions in the software. Now what's really great with TurboTax is that often you can import your broker information. So that's really helpful because these statements can be complicated and many pages long. If you can't import the statement, you have to enter it manually. You can specify what you want to enter. We want to enter 1099 INT. And even at this point, you still have a few options. You can either try to import it directly from your bank, upload it from your computer, or even snap a photo with your phone. Once you do that, you would have to just verify that the information that's converted from the photo into the software is correct. But it can save you time and improve the accuracy. At this point, you can see the summary of the 1099 INT or click add more investment. And we have dividends, so we're going to enter it manually. If you have more boxes on your form than what shows up on the screen, you can click what if my form has other boxes. Now, Jane also sold some stock, so we're going to enter that, broker information, EIN number, as well as answer some of these questions to make sure that these are not employee stocks, that these are not inherited stocks, etc. If you have a couple of transactions or adjustments to your transactions, you may want to use the one-on-one option. But if you have many transactions that are simple, you may want to use the summary. Otherwise, you have to enter the basis, when you bought it, when you sold it, what's the purchase price, the sell price, etc. TurboTax shines in this area because it has that option of importing broker information. Once you enter all the investments, you can see my capital gains, and it will show you some tips on saving on capital gains, as well as you can click on how is my capital gains calculated to find out how it's exactly calculated in the software. Now, once you're done with income, you can click done with income, And now it's trying to sell me assisted tax preparation. And when you click disclosure, the disclosure is very long. And it's surprising that it's trying to sell me this because I wasn't lost. The tax return is not very complicated. And that would cost me $169 to $228 plus state. What's good about TurboTax that sometimes by just asking you a few questions, it can identify certain credits or deductions you may qualify for. So you just want to make sure you answer them honestly. At this point, you can see all the tax break and you can start filling them out. For 90% of taxpayers, it's better to use standard deduction than itemizing. However, if you pay mortgage interest, real estate taxes, charitable deduction like Jane does, sometimes it's good to just put that in the software and see what's better for you. If we put the mortgage interest, what's good with TurboTax is that you can upload that information. Mortgage interest statement can also have real estate tax information and you can include it here as well. Each tax software automatically calculates if you qualify for the earned income tax credit. However, you may want to search for this credit and answer some specific questions just to make sure you qualify for it. Maybe the credit was disallowed in the past and you have to fill out a special form. In 2020 and 2021, you could deduct certain amount of charitable donations when you use standard deduction. However, that is no longer the case. In order to deduct charitable donations in 2022, you have to itemize. She also received a 1098-E for student loan interest payments, so you can either upload it from a computer or type it manually. Jane received 1098-T for education expenses for some classes she took at a writer's college, and you just have to answer the question and provide the information exactly how it's on your 1098-T. You can also upload it. Now, I wanted to see for which credits she will qualify for. And the software does identify that she doesn't qualify for the American Opportunity Tax Credit, and it lists the reasons. But she does qualify for the Lifetime Learning Credit, and it says, she qualified for $176. But it's really helpful that the software figured it out for her. If you received marketplace insurance or otherwise known as Obamacare and have Form 1095A, you have to enter that into software, especially if you received any kind of subsidies, because you need to reconcile it on your tax return. Jane qualified for $300 in subsidies for healthcare coverage, but she only received advanced premium tax credit of $142, so she can receive another $158 as premium tax credit. Jane also contributed to her traditional IRA for $100, and the software also shows how much of that is deductible, so she qualifies for the entire amount as a deduction. What's good about TurboTax is that it sometimes identifies credits or deductions based on your answers to some questions. Jane has contributions to traditional IRA and 401k, so she could qualify for Savers Credit, and very few people know about Savers Credit, so they wouldn't search for it. But software identified that she might qualify. However, her Savers Credit was zero because she has zero tax liability, and this is non-refundable credit. Only after you enter all your deductions, you receive a summary what's better for you, and then a breakdown how the itemized deduction was calculated. And by default, the software maximizes your deduction and chooses the better one for you. Once you finish entering all your information and move on to the review section, the software will test everything and check that everything was accurately entered, and it will identify any errors. And it identified 2 errors for me, and it says it needs review, so I have to go to these sections and correct them before I can continue. Now it shows me the total refund, and I know that Jane also had educator expenses because she was a teacher, but when I tried to search for it under deductions and credits, I couldn't find it under education. So the easiest way sometimes if you can't find what you're looking for is actually go to search at the very top right and just type in your query. And many times you will find what you're looking for and says jump to that section. Sometimes with TurboTax, you kind of feel like you're in a loop. If you change anything, you have to go through the review process and all this stuff again. And what was annoying that it showed me an error that I already fixed previously, but I had to do it one more time because I added those educator expenses. Once you finish with federal, you will see a summary of either your refund or tax due, and then you can click on it to see how it's calculated and you have a summary of it. This is great, but where is my PDF? Some software actually shows you a PDF version of your 1040 so you can review it, but no, not TurboTax. Once you finish with your federal, you're going to move to state. All the information flows into your state, and then you can make adjustment as needed because each state is different. by clicking on the start under each of the options for your state. You can go to that section. I wanted to see if TurboTax was smart enough to identify that I would qualify for property tax credit, and it did do that. Now it's telling me the summary of my refund for federal and state, as well as the price for state will be $39. When I recorded this section of the video, it was $39 the beginning of March. However, yesterday, March 15, it was $59. In their disclosures on TurboTax, it says, offer may change at any time without notice. So be aware when you're drafting something, you're working on it, and then you're coming back in a week, the prices may have been changed. Once you're done, you're ready to file. And now the biggest display of gamification. My time was 39 minutes. I crushed my taxes. Inaugural race mode finisher sticker. Done in the top 10% sticker. 203 minutes faster than average sticker. Well, where is my discount? None. What am I going to do with this? Share on Twitter? How about give me a PDF version of my tax return so I can review? I would like that as my reward. Honestly, I do not like that because you shouldn't feel rushed doing your taxes. This is your money. It's more important for you to do it accurately and not pay too much for the software. That's what we want. Since I did so well on my taxes, I finished so fast, got all these stickers, you would think I would get a reward, but no, I'm actually being sold another product. I'm being sold the Audit Protection Max products because I guess, I don't know, maybe I was doing it too fast and I need protection from audit. At the end, you have 3 steps to finish your tax return. First, you have to pay for your tax return, either with credit card or your refund, but there's extra charge for that. Then you can specify how you want your refund, direct deposit or a check. Direct deposits are faster. And finally, you can get a copy of your PDF because you paid for it. And now the moment of truth. Jane, who makes less than $20,000, she has a refund of $672 and she would have to pay for this return $128. Now that price is at the beginning of March. After March 15, the federal now would cost $119 and she would have to use the premium version of the software, not the premier, and the state would no longer be $39 but rather $59. So the total would be $178 for Jane. And if the taxpayer, Jane, can't afford to pay out of pocket, it'd be additional $39 to pay with her refund. For the complexity of this tax return, it feels really overpriced. I've done this same tax return with some other software for 2022, and the pricing ranged from $19.95, $25 to $40. Now, one more final thing I want to show you here. Under left, under tax tools, click on the tools, which is truly a gem in the software. There are many things here you can find. Click View Tax Summary, which is a summary of your calculation on your 1040. Then you can also flag and save places in the software where you want to revisit. Let's say I paid federal estimate taxes, but I didn't have my info with me when I saw it in the tax software. So I can flag it by going to tax tools and then putting some note so I can revisit it later when I have the information. You can also see the fees that you currently would be paying for the tax software. You want to double check that you're not being upgraded. Then you can also file an extension here. And for the advanced, truly advanced users, there's a delete form option. You should only use it when you know when you delete something, it won't affect anything else in your tax return. Otherwise, you can create errors. You can also save a copy of your 2022 tax return on your computer, and you can either click clear and start over here or go on the left under tax tools. And if you absolutely have to start over, this is an option. So thanks so much for watching.